And hello everyone, Gabe the Izzard here. Today, the day before the first day of spring, March 20th, 2022. Today I'm embarking on my third state park in the state of Arkansas, Pinnacle Mountain State Park. You saw it, we're here at the Visitor Center in the shadow of Pinnacle Mountain. I have been to Pinnacle Mountain before and climbed to the top and made videos of that. Today I'm not walking to the top. I'm going to do the base trail, starting at the approach from the Ouachita Trail going in. So I'm going to step inside and check out the visitor center and the surrounding little area. Go ahead, tag along. As with most Arkansas state parks and their visitor center, they will have a good display and interactive exhibits showing a little bit of the wildlife. Big gator, beaver, alligator gar, and a treasure trove of different types of skulls and pelts. The Arkansas River is known as a Trail of Tears water route, and there is a nice view from the visitor center. This is looking north, and there's a picnic area where people are having a little bit of a bite to eat, and we are there. They also have a wonderful little gift shop. Lots of items. Pinnacle Mountain became a state park in 1973, authorized by Governor Dale Bumpers and dedicated by David Pryor in 1978. So there are multiple trails that are available to walk at Pinnacle Mountain. We are here at the Visitor Center. We're going to start at the Ouachita Trail and then come around and do the base trail, coming right back around. I've done the west and shown that in previous videos. So we're going to start our walk down to the approach, starting here at those, and making our way down to the trailhead of the Ouachita Trail. There are lots of bike trails around, and here is a bike fix-it with air, water, or air and tools. Here is the entrance, and it is, like I say, the start of the Ouachita Trail. The Blue Blazes. Just about 263 miles to Oklahoma, or somewhere around that. But this will be part of the approach to the Summit Trail. Not the Summit Trail, the base trail. You can get to the summit on the East Summit Trail. I'll show you where that is in just a second. This is a well-marked trail, but I will admit it is very steep and rocky. So make sure you have some good walking shoes, good traction. We're barely 150 yards in. One thing about walking on treacherous paths, you have to stop every once in a while and just check out the scenery. Nice rock outcropping there. All right, after coming down the hill, you come up to first rock or a road crossing, and it's very well marked. Blue blaze directly across. It even says Ouachita Trail. I would have shown the information placard, but there were people standing there. So maybe I'll hit it on the way back. I've only done this path once before. And I forgot how cool it is. It's got some really great landscape. And I'm about to have to do a creek crossing. So within a half a mile, there's a road and a creek crossing. Didn't realize there were steps. Well, there they are, coming down to the creek crossing. Got to keep my eye out for snakes. I've already heard a few little rustles, and it's made my paranoia extremely alert. This highly worn path has lots of muddy areas in it, and so there's been a natural diverted path around these. It's what happens when you have lots of people walking in the same spot. You get a nice little rut going. Okay, so over here I see a tag 222, so I guess that's the mileage counting up. So maybe 223 miles is the amount. If this is the 222 marker. Another little creek crossing. It opens up to a nice little path, still following the blue blazes. This being a state park, they do have access to a lot of the parks by vehicle, and this is one of the small little roads that a state park employee can make it up here in case of an evacuation or something. And there's I think that's the Little Maumelle River. Keeping on in the blue. It's nice to be able to walk along a smooth marked path so you can look up and enjoy this scenery, and then look over, see the water. As with most trails, if you're on a nice road, you have to keep your eyes peeled for the blazes. There's the blue blaze. And what I do is I see the one and it's like, okay, and I look out and I see the next ones. So I know that I'm on the right path. And this is some very squishy stuff right here. Very squishy. Even though this is a very nice wide path, we've had a lot of rain lately, and so the amount of water and mud is very high. So you have to keep your eye out. If not, you're going to be walking through a bunch of squish. And this little pool of standing water from all the rain. This is one of the better days that we've had this year. It's 73 degrees right now, and it's almost 1 o'clock in the afternoon. A perfect day to get out and do a stroll. Plus, there's lots of shade cover, which helps. Another large rock outcropping. It's an old barbed wire fence that was connected to this tree, and the tree is completely enclosed that barbed wire. We're walking on a nice, well-beaten, elevated path on the Ouachita Trail. So you can look at this two ways. If you were coming in from Oklahoma side, right here at the finish, you're like, man, this is easy. Coast right in. And then you have a gnarly little hill climb right to the parking lot. Or if you're starting at the Pinnacle Mountain State Park, you're just like, what a nice, well-beaten path. This'll be nothing. I'll be in Oklahoma in no time. Psych. Coming into a clearing here and get to see the first real good glimpse of Pinnacle Mountain. There it is. We still need to get up to the base, which is probably about another quarter of a mile. I think it's about 1 mile from the visitor center to the base trail or summit trail, whichever way you want to look at it. Power lines. All right, just past that clearing, we come to a railroad path marked with blue, crossing the railroad. Stand by me moment. Here is a burned tree, probably from a controlled burn or lightning strike. There's some char on the base of that tree. So it could have been just right there. That tree's dead. I would say probably lightning strike. This nice little pine thicket. There's a body of water right there. But a lot of this low-lying water rerouting. That's the first one of those arrows I've seen, but it is basically just pointing the way of the blue blaze is pointing, and we are approaching the parking lot for the base and East Summit Trail. Like I said, my paranoia is on full alert for snakes. I've seen about a dozen little lizards, and they make that little sound in the grass, and so stop and look. But so far, so good on the no snakes. Another creek crossing. Very beautiful creek style water. All right, we came out across the street, directly across, and we are at the East Summit Trail, Base Trail, and Ouachita Trail. We're going to follow the Ouachita section. We've made it from here at the visitor center, made it over to here. We're going to follow the Ouachita Trail, and I'll show you where it forks off, and then we're going to hit just the regular base trail, come back, and then make our way back. That's what we're doing. Good amount of people here at the parking lot for the East Summit. That's basically what people are here for, the East Summit. And here's the little warning sign. Don't be a victim, lock valuables in the trunk, prevent theft. Following the blue blaze. The red and white is the base trail, or one of them is the base, one of them is the summit. We'll figure that out. Up this way. Here's the fork in the road. We're heading this way, counterclockwise. Following the blue and green, I guess. This does have some elevation changes, but it is primarily a pretty flat trail, but lots of rocks and roots and a couple little creek crossings like we've already done. Keeping an eye out on the blazes. Really cool stack of rocks. I'm assuming to stop erosion. All right, so see number 15 here on the green blaze. I'm assuming we got to go to 1. I'm assuming we'll figure this out on the way. And we are still, in fact, this way is the approach to the base of the mountain. We're not really on the base of Pinnacle Mountain. We're just on a little outlying of rocks. The base is probably another quarter to half a mile the other direction. Getting into a few of the little up and down elevation changes. They're not a large amount of elevation change, but they do go kind of up and then down. Up and then down. Cool rock cropping. Number 14. I like seeing these rocks that have quartz right through the center of them, making all kinds of crazy designs. Mile 221 of the Ouachita. So we've gone 2 miles since that last marker, maybe. The white diamond. Number 13. Gotta say, we came right at the right time to get a good look, you know, the way the landscape is. Because in a few weeks, since spring is tomorrow, the trees will start to bloom and you won't get to see all of the landscape. And this is some rocky terrain. Bring good shoes. I don't think Chuck Taylor's would be ideal for this. Bring something with stability and grip. Right down the hill is, you see a green roof. That is the equipment area for the state park. Right here at marker number 12. I don't know if I mentioned this, but the visitor hours at the visitor center are Monday through Sunday, every day of the week, 8 to 5. So there's always someone there during like normal business hours. That being said, the bathrooms are open there, and there's water fountain with cold water. So that's a plus. 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's an old throwback to some Sesame Street. Ooh, ooh, ooh. All right. So now we're coming up to the split where we are no longer on the Ouachita Trail. As you can see, the base trail keeps heading that way, Ouachita Trail that way, and it heads off into the wilderness. And you can see the blue blazes clearly marked to take you that way, and then the green blazes for the base trail. So just a quick show. We are standing right there. We're gonna head on this way. That's a good tree to sit on, take a breather, or that rock. And that would be right here at marker number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just looking at all these rocks that are just scattered about here. They look loose and random. It's just amazing how they all are here. Just little round boulders broken off after eons of erosion. I'd rather be an eon than a peon. I'd rather get eoned than peed on. 9! This would be a nice tree to take a seat on if you could get your haunches up there. It's about 6 feet tall. If you get your big butt up there, somebody's stacked some rocks to try to get up there. I'm sure some lady is taking an Instagram picture there. It's really such a cool mix of hardwoods and evergreens, pine trees all through here. Every so often you might see a cedar, but mainly the pines. Ocho! There's a concrete pillar. I would assume if we're going to 15, half of 15 would be 7.5. We're in between 8 and 7. That could likely be the halfway point. Yo no sé. Possibly. Siete. Speaking of siete, 7, for all of you non-Mexican speakers. This is a kid and pet friendly path. The only thing is, I would say, unless your kid is probably around 7 or older, I don't know if I'd take them on the base trail. You could park, you don't have to go all the way to the visitor center, but you could go to either the east summit or west summit parking lot and just do the 3-mile loop. So if you know that your kid can walk 3 miles, you know, they could probably do it. There are ups and downs and lots of rocky, that's the terrain. It looks, oh yeah, not bad. No, it's rocky. The terrain is something. But it is mainly in the shade, and there's not a leaf on a tree. So even during the summertime, you are in 98% shade throughout the trail. Next stop, number 6. Number 6. Where are you? Where are you? There you are, number 6. That just reminded me of the National Lampoon European Vacation when they're in Germany looking for their relatives. And they say, oh, we're on this street. And he says, what number are they? And his daughter Audrey says, 6. She's like, Audrey, that's German for 6. And so he walks up to the door and knocks on the door. And the person answers and he says, we're looking for 6. And they slam the door in his face. Typical Clark W. Griswold. For as many cars that were in the parking lot on such a beautiful day, really haven't seen many people. We saw a man and his dog, a long through hiker that had a big backpack on, and another family with a couple dogs. Number 5. I'm just wondering why there aren't more people out. Or we could be walking in tandem. Who knows? Got a little elevation here. I do see some people down there. A couple ladies. All right. Got to go through this ravine. That's what these are called. Down that way. and then back over that way to get out. Ravine. Here's number 4, and this is extremely rocky terrain right here. Ankle twisters, jagged edges. And then I honestly, I think that we're going to end up one at the west side summit. There's no way that we're going to hit one back there on the east side. All right, crossing a road. This is an access road for the state parks to get from the highway down there up a very good bit to the almost to the top of Pinnacle Mountain Base Trail. Green Blaze. Here at marker number 3, a bench that you can sit at, take a break, listen to the roar of the highway, which is kind of weird. I mean, I get it, but if you're coming from the west side, it's not very far in, and if you're coming from the east side, you're almost to the parking lot, which is where you can get a cold drink if you like. A couple switchbacks here. So that's number 3. We're gonna hit number 1 on the west summit trail. So I guess there's another 15. Maybe we'll count up. Who knows? Here's number 2, and we are almost at sea level. We can see the sea level, SEA level, and then we can see the parking lot. But I guess you could say we are at SEE level because we can see the parking lot. And we'll be coming up to the trailhead of the west summit. Spring has sprung. There's a group of people, and they are heading up the trail, up the mountain on the west summit. And we are continuing this way. There's a path down. There's a picnic table. There's a lot of water, so I'm gonna make it over here. And I'm gonna say this is pretty anticlimactic. Oh, there it is. Number 1. We made it to 1. All right. So there shows the base trail continuing this way in the green, and the West Summit Trail. It's only 3/4 of a mile straight up. But we're gonna go down here to the parking lot and take a break. All right, we're down here at the bottom. So we started right here at the visitor center where the yellow are. It says we are here. That's where the Rangers is. We made our way here along, left the Ouachita Trail, and made it around here to the West Summit parking lot. So we just had to make it back around here and then over back to the finish. But first, a little water. Here at the parking lot, and you can see there's a ton of people here, and they are all walking up the mountain and not around it. Here's a playground for the children and a bathroom section. And if I would suggest, if you want to do the Summit Trail, the west, get here early because these parking spots fill up fast. And like I say, there's another path right there. It's called the Kingfisher, and it's just a short little walk. And here's another state park map. Number 1, number 2, now number 3. I didn't bring my passport, so I can't get that stamped. Fail! water. Come on. Oh, that's good. We do have machines for Powerade and water and soda pops if your belly desires. And it takes credit cards. They do even have water fountains for dogs. All right, back onto the trail, looking for the green. That's 0 for the summit. Keep it beautiful, people. Keep it beautiful. All right, taking these rock steps up to my base trail. We came from that way. We're heading that way. The green markers. Oh, what the heck? 29? Hi. All right. So, I guess we see that it goes from 1 to 29, and we saw 15 first. So we're counting down to 14 and a half. Excuse me. By West Summit parking lot. So if we're 3.5 miles total, and I would say a mile in, a mile out on the Ouachita section. 5.5 miles, maybe a little bit more. We'll see. The wife has got her little walking navigation on, so she'll get an accurate reading. But there's a lot of maneuvering around these puddles, so there's no telling how many extra feet we've walked. This rock has a nice little step in it, or seat. So I did mention briefly that there's a Kingfisher Trail that's in that parking lot area. That is a asphalted, smooth path that I think is handicap accessible, and it's maybe like 1/4 mile, maybe a little bit more, but it's not very long. So that one the kids can definitely do, and it walks along a little creek and has some nice scenery. So you could take them to the playground and do the smooth, easy trail. We're going to continue on the green blazes. 28 hiding over here behind a tree right down there. I think it might be the Little Maumelle River. You can put in little kayaks or canoes and float around. No motorized boats, I don't believe. We'll do some fishing. As I'm doing this trail on this wonderful weathered day, it brings me back to the time that I was in Phoenix, and I hiked up a small little hill, and it was hot and brutal, and I almost felt like I wasn't going to make it back, but I did. I could have used a bench to sit on. Down here is a snake swimming in the water. Wish I could zoom in. I can't. It's right there. 27. Basically entering a rock garden. Keeping my eye on the green blazes and where my feet belong. Lots of rocks. Lots of rocks. Can't even tell, but the summit of the mountain is right behind those trees. Way up there. There's a ring in that tree where something had been tied off. Same with right there. Another crooked tree Looks like a rabbit with a long ear. 26. More rocks. What I think is cool is they have little webbings of roots that are appeared from all of these pine trees. There's an old cedar stump right there. So we're entering into a thicket of pines. Walking along the root system. 25. About 10 more to go. Nice little vantage point. Haven't seen any wildlife other than the one snake and about a dozen lizards. And some humans. And a couple dogs. There's a little offshoot of the trail, and then it goes down here. And that's an unmarked trail, so it just goes to show how important it is to keep eyes out on the blaze that you're on. Because if not, you could really get turned around. Wouldn't take long to get lost. I mean, you could, any direction you walk in a straight line, you're gonna hit a road, but still, could be pretty scary. As I walk up on mile marker 24, it's just amazing that there were so many cars, down there at the parking lot, at both parking lots. And then I feel like I'm out here, other than the lady behind me following me, I feel like I'm alone out here in the wilderness. Wait, there are some humanoid creatures up there. But it's so quiet and there's no quiet. There's a bump on a log. Right there. First view of the railroad tracks that we crossed earlier, right there. So there's a dark green trail blaze that way. I don't know what that means. That is not the way to go. Onward and upward for now. Man, what a great view. Rock slide up there. Humanoids taking a break down here at this bench. There's one of those old school state park benches, and it's always lots of etchings on these. Almost missed Deuce Deuce. How dare me! Here's some more of those roots. So crazy. 21 rocks stacked up in a row. Closer we get to 15 and the East Summit Trail.
Used for emergencies. Would you like to call 15 or emergency services?
No.
No problem. I would.
She is insane. I hear there's a section of the Ouachita Trail that's basically nothing but these type of rocks that you have to walk on out in Oklahoma, like a 10 miles worth. That would be tough. There's a huge hollow hole right here next to marker 20. Got like 5 left. Marker 20. mound of dirt. It's not the Toltec mounds. Look at the rocks. Gosh, it's rock garden. Took my eyes off of the path for a second to do something on my watch and almost twisted my ankle pretty good. I was just talking and watching where I was going, and I did the same thing. Gotta watch where you're going and what you're doing. Here is the power lines that walked across earlier, further that way. We're just skirting it right now. We'll have to cross it here in a bit. Holy mackerel. 2 ankle twistings in a row. All before marker 19. It's funny that they put these little bridges here to cross these little ditches. I guess it's better than having to balance across a log like that. In the shadow of my body, 18. There's 29 of them, and this is a 3.5 mile trail. So they're not really a 1/10 of a mile. They're less than a 1/10 of a mile, or more than a 1/10 of a mile, like a 11th of a mile maybe. It's kind of weird. And some of them seem spaced out further than others. I don't know the math on this. Humanoids. Okay, we made it to the East Summit Trail. So if we continued that way on the red and white, we would head up Pinnacle Mountain. But we're going to go straight and go to the parking lot, cross the street, and head back to the visitor center. Next stop, a visitor center. I will show right here. I skipped 17. There's 16 right there. We made it. So, next stop, visitor center. Made it to the last road crossing. It's nothing but straight up from here to the visitor center. And just like that, we're at the end. We made it from here all the way around and back up the long stretch. There are a few more trails. There's the Quarry Pond Trail. It goes to a Scenic Overlook. And then the Kingfisher, which was right there. We're gonna walk on up and go to the Scenic Overlook. And this is part of the Ouachita Trail. That's where we are, right there. Here's the Quarry Pond, which is a body of water that you cannot swim in. And there's paddle boats there, but I've never seen anybody paddle boat. But we're gonna go up this little short path to the overlook. And just like that, we're at the Scenic Overlook. There's the summit of Pinnacle Mountain. And in the distance, Lake Maumelle. And then panning over to see the majestic Arkansas River with Maumelle over there. Downtown Little Rock, that way. And that's gonna do it for today. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Later.